Yeah, that's necessary.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've got a game that I'm not supposed to have.
Oh.
Me
I'm
too.
cheating the system.
What?
We went underground.
Wait.
Did you get it too?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Did you smuggled illicit goods into the country?
Kind of digitally.
Huh.
Digitally. I got.
Customs didn't catch you.
We got Granblue
We
Fantasy.
played a little
Oh.
Asia, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yuck.
Granblue Fantasy versus. That's not actually due out in the States until early
March?
next month. Yeah.
Oh, whoa. I assumed it was like months or a year. Well, I guess games don't. Like
They don't local- yeah, it's
that
usually not.
localization delay doesn't really exist anymore. But I just assumed that you were going to this much trouble because it must be a ways off.
A month is a long time,
I
man.
guess.
The tech, Brad. The
You gotta,
tech.
you gotta get good now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's-
You got to get good before they patch everything for the U.S. release
if you're
and
looking,
fix it and balance it.
If
But
you're looking,
speaking
if
of
you're looking to go into Evo open brackets, I guess you need all the
Yeah, I don't want to die in pools.
practice.
I'm
when I
thinking
go to
about
Evo.
week 1 of the U.S. launch where I get on with,
Yeah.
40 hours of experience, and these clowns don't even know what characters they want to pick
Okay.
yet.
And I'll get that 1 week where I actually feel good about myself. But
never
speaking
play
of
again.
localization, the Hong Kong version that we purchased actually is fully translated in English.
Yeah, I think
so
most Hong Kong
odd.
release. Well, I mean,
a lot of them are. Yeah.
British occupation.
Okay.
Most I think
Yeah,
most Hong Kong releases have.
That was
a lot of
always
them.
the thing you would try to look for
Yeah.
when I was importing a lot of Xbox 360 games.
Mhm.
You would try to find the Asian versions
yep.
because the blanket Asian version
When
would
you-
often have English.
Yeah, when you go to like Play Asia, they often sell the Japanese version, the US version, and then the Asia version, which is
Yeah.
sometimes translated.
And then on the 360, you would end up in some cases where like that Asia release would have different achievements than the Japanese release.
Cool.
And then you go like, well, okay, do I want to learn this game in English and then import the Japanese version and then play it all over again? No. After
Maybe.
trying it, the answer is no.
Okay.
I'll tell you firmly. The answer then, definitely yes. The answer now, that was a mistake.
Let me ask real quick: is this so it's an anime fighter? It is
Yeah.
a fighting game with anime stylings. Is this the game back when it got announced last year? People were just like losing their minds about how cool and anime it looked, or am I thinking of a different one?
You're thinking, well, this was definitely one of them, but also the new Guilty Gear.
Maybe it was the new
Yeah.
Guilty Gear that I'm
was
thinking of.
similarly. That was one I was definitely losing my mind about.
Okay.
I'm still losing.
That
I
one has a
lost my
scent
mind.
to it that you really appreciate.
Yeah,
But this
totally.
one is up there in its anime-ness.
Yeah, I
Totally,
think this
yeah.
game is going to be huge, man. I really like the crowd for this.
It's bridging the gap in a way that Dragon Ball was.
Yes.
Who
you know?
who makes it?
So it's an Arc Systems.
Oh, God, they just make every fighting game now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Kinda,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's
The
the team
platinum
behind
of fighting games.
Dragon
No?
Ball.
Yeah.
So they've got
Did you say
that.
it's the same team?
I believe it's the same
okay.
team that did
Oh.
the Dragon Ball stuff.
Well, okay then.
So yeah, there's a pedigree there.
And it's a similar idea to Dragon Ball, where they're taking this massively popular license and
and trying
So
to
for
make
people
it.
that don't know what the fuck that is, like it's,
me.
yeah, it's a huge mobile game, like a gotcha style mobile game
That
of
hasn't
some-
even come
of
out
some
here.
kind. Yeah,
Is it
Right.
Is there not even an anime? Is it just an anime?
there might-
looking-
at
It
this
didn't.
point-
I don't think it started as an anime.
okay.
This is all stuff I was going to look at before the quick look I forgot to talk about on
Yeah.
the podcast.
But it started as a browser
Browser game.
game.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I almost downloaded it last week, and it was too many steps.
Apparently,
to
that's
get through it.
translated as well. And
Okay.
you just got to get around the region.
But
and
gotcha mobile game is like the main manifestation.
That
of
was
this
the
thing?
thing.
And this
like,
is one of
blew
the
up, blew
biggest
up.
of the gotcha
Okay.
mobile games.
So they just threw a bunch of money at Arcsys and said, "Make us a game." And
Huh.
they're like, "Cool, yeah, you got it. We'll make a game."
It seemed we played a little bit of it on the show on Friday. It seems real cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's easy to say yes. It's bridging that gap between like newcomers and veterans alike. But this really holds true, I think, because they're picking a bunch of systems from other games as well. Like it's got some DNA from like CVS2 with like spot dodge and like a roll forward and such. But it's also got like more contemporary stuff like auto combos and whatnot. And that's on
that's
like
like a
all
big-
three buttons.
That's a big Dragon Ball thing, right?
Yeah.
Kinda,
Yeah, the Persona Fighter had it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a handful of their games specifically that they.
But they kind of like double down. It's like your main attacks are all cancelable into one another, and it's super easy to just jut out combos. This doesn't, like in Dragon Ball, you could just mash out one button, get like a super at the end. This one doesn't go quite that far.
But
So-
you can kind of very easily bridge the gap if you like kind of have a basic understanding of how fighting game combos work. Like you'll do the auto combo. Like I was going through, I haven't played much of it. I was basically doing like training room for a bunch of different characters, and I would do their auto combo and then be like, okay, I assume I can do a special into a super here at the end of this, and like 8 times out of 10 it would just work like that.
Yeah, it's very forgiving in that there's big buffer windows and stuff. And that, and there's still, very technical combos, very technical links and stuff, that you can do for max damage or whatever. But,
there's a straight up special button.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to do like a quarter circle,
and they're like individual to the character. Like some people will put up like a, like a parry shield or something, and other people will just do like a mash attack or something like that.
yeah. Like instead of doing like a quarter circle forward command to do a fireball, you can do just like towards in the button to do the fireball. And this really does feel like they are trying to make something that is appealing to Granblue fans first and Arcystem fans also at the same time. One of their big draws is they kind of talked up this huge single player RPG mode where you're building a party and you're kind of evolving equipment and stuff.
Yeah, I played a bunch of that last night, and that seems a little more robust than your typical RPG mode or arcade mode in a typical fighter. You're building a party. It's going through I don't know the story of Granblue at all, but it seems to there's a rich history there. And it shows, in these cutscenes, in the glossaries and everything. So what you're doing is you're going through a series of events, and you're getting new party members, you're getting new weapons. Each of these weapons have different attack values, of course, and but they also have like elemental values. So you've got to change those out, based on the area that you're in. For the most part, you're fighting just like inconsequential dudes. But then you'll also have boss fights, which replicate like the raids of like the Granblue like mobile version or browser version, where they've got like huge life bars and shit like that.
Is there like a world map in this RPG mode? Or are you actually moving around, like going to towns and stuff? Or
kind of. Well, no, you get to a spot on the map, and it'll have like a series of quests that you can do. Some of them are just bonus optional quests. Some are story based, but you're not like walking around a town or anything like that. And that's pretty much the RPG mode in a nutshell. You're unlocking colors and you're unlocking weapon skins. That's what I'm actually in it for. So
I have to say, as someone who has like a little interest in playing this game, but watched a bunch of it on Friday, the I don't know if they're supers or desperation moves.
Yeah,
I forget what you call them. Like there's some really good looking attacks in this game.
There's some anime.
You push that anime button. And
yes,
you get what you're looking
giant
for.
goddesses.
The wrestling. That wrestling thing.
Oh,
Did you ever
fantastic?
Did you ever confirm if it plays out differently?
Confirmed.
It does?
Confirmed.
Man,
that's
great. Wow.
Yeah, you can get a 3 count.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's
so cool. But can you get a 10 count?
Oh, well then this game.
What's
on the
character?
Pass?
Yeah,
are they gonna go there? Put one of the greatest fighting game characters of all time.
It's a lot like that Dragon Ball game where it's just hyperkinetic, very fun to watch, even if you're not playing.
Yep,
kind of just a showcase of nonsense.
Yeah, it's very much more neutral based, meaning that there's a lot of not downtime, but like a lot of moments where you're kind of just looking at one another, and then somebody's got to make a move.
Yeah, this doesn't have like touch of death kill combos or
and it's not a tag game. Like I feel like this game, even compared to like most other anime fighters, like it feels there's not like it doesn't have air dashes. It doesn't it feels a lot more grounded and accessible in that sense, where it's a lot easier to parse what's going on because it's not a tag game. You don't have like, oh, this Goku jumped out and this other Goku jumped in. What the fuck am I even looking at? Like it's very easy to look at it and go like, okay, I'm pretty sure I understand exactly what's happening at all times because it's just a fairly standard fighting game in that sense. But it's all animated out and it looks great.
Yeah, it does. It does have that kind of like 24 frames per second. Like,
look
that some people are
I'm not a huge
into.
fan of it.
Right.
I've come around on it. I've accepted like why they do it.
Yeah.
At least in the cutscenes and that sort of, and in the supers. But
it's like
in action, it flows at the right frame rate.
it's fine.
It's not like it's 24 while you're playing it.
Or direct way to just activate the anime center of your brain. Right?
There you go.
When it looks like that.
There you go.
I want to activate. What if I could activate it twice or 3 times as hard by having the anime flow at 60 frames a second at all times?
Anime can't go at 60 frames per second. It would just be
It's too much.
It's too much.
The human brain can't handle it.
I want 120 frames per second.
You know how they used to say
in all films, in all animes.
Only's anime.
Yes.
You know how they used to say you can't see over 60 frames a second? It's kind of like that. It's like the brain.
It's kind of like that. Completely true.
Brain can't take in that much
You
anime.
know when Goku uses instant transmission?
Uh-huh.
Like, imagine that at 120 frames per second. He'd be gone even fucking faster.
You'd see him. If they could show that many frames, you would see him go from place to place. I don't love that whole 24 frame look in the intros.
I don't know if it's
and stuff like that,
24
or
frames,
whatever.
but
It's like a reduced frame rate specifically to kind of evoke that style.
Yeah, it looks like a frame.
You know,
that's right.
I've made my peace with it. They're making mistakes.
That's cool.
And I've made my case. If they want to keep getting it
president
wrong,
of
the president of anime, I've gone to them and I've said, like, look, fuckers, start making anime for me.
As an anime podcaster, I'm here
as
to
a long-time anime expert, as an accredited,
award-winning.
I spoke at a goddamn anime convention.
Right.
I think I know a thing or two about your goddamn pervert cartoons.
We'll call the IEEE. We'll get this regulatory thing straightened out.
I think the last time I spoke at an anime convention, I said I don't want any more Jello shots.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that was the last time
it all went black after that.
And then I stopped speaking words at that point.
It's just like scene missing from there. So this is out in a month here?
Yeah, about a month. I haven't really tried too much of the online. They have you go through like a ranking system, like in a like an initial set of matches. They first
calibrate you.
Yeah, kind of to judge like where you're at, the skill rank, I guess.
Cool.
But the first set of matches are against computer opponents. But then I started trying to match against like actual human opponents, and that didn't work out so well. Even though I set the criteria to like North America, anytime I found someone, they would disconnect from me, and I'm like, I just want to get my ranking matches in. I want to see the cool 3D lobbies.
Oh yeah,
there are 3D lobbies.
Cool. Oh yeah, it is an Arcystem game.
Yeah,
good on Arcystem continuing to do work.
And then I guess did you see the news? Examu is going out of business, I guess, or they're passing off some of their games that they did. They're passing off their games to Team Arcana.
Okay,
Arcana Heart people are going to pick up some of that stuff.
Oh really?
They did. I think they did Million Arthurs. I think it was the last game that they will have developed.
Okay.
It sounds like that they're going out.
Sometime
this month. Yeah,
it's too many Arthurs.
Jeff,
we should also note that this is one of the official games for Evo as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's high stakes.
No.
High
it's
stakes,
real.
man.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Cool.